Welcome back. Luis Rubiales is set to stand down as president of the Spanish FA following weeks of criticism for, as I'm sure you know, kissing striker Jenni Hermoso just after the Women's World Cup. Speaking to Piers Morgan, Rubiales said that having spoken to his daughters about the incident, he could no longer stay in his role.
About my resignation, yes, I'm going to do.
You're going to resign?
Yeah, I'm going to. Yes, because I cannot continue my work.
What was the final moment for you? Was it talking to your family, your dad perhaps?
Yeah, my father, my daughters, I spoke with them. It's not, they know it's not a question about me and some friends very, very close to me. And they say to me, Luis, now you have to focus in your dignity and to continue your life, because if not, probably you are going to damage people you love and the sport you love.
Joining me on the programme, Semra Hunter, football journalist at La Liga TV. Hello, Semra. Thank you very much for joining us. Now, this is the man who said repeatedly, was it 5 times, I will not resign. I have no intention of resigning. Under no circumstances will I resign. Forget the idea of me resigning. I'm staying exactly where I am. And then Piers Morgan gets him into a room and lo and behold, he breaks this bombshell news.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say it came as a bit of a shock for all of the reasons that you were just stating, because he's been so consistent, Luis Rubiales, for the last 3 weeks, and adamantly, defiantly saying, I am not going to stand down. Actually, quite the opposite. I'm going to fight this all the way until the bitter end. So it did come as a little bit of a shock, I think, to a lot of us, really, because we thought he was willing to take this to the courts. He was willing to wait it out and see what FIFA would say, or what the administrative courts would say, or what even the criminal courts would say, because now there's a whole other proceeding going on separate to all of this. But I suppose that in hearing what he had to say to Piers about listening to his daughters, listening to his father, those close to him, I really suspect that the tipping point came a few days earlier. And that was with Jenni Hermoso filing that official complaint to the prosecutor's office, which now allows him to continue with that investigation and to take this to court. And he could very seriously face some major consequences as a result of this. Mm-hmm. And I suppose that that moment is probably what encouraged those close to him to say, listen, really, you have no other choice now. You do have to step down.
I would say the world divides into 2 halves on this. You've got one half saying this is appalling. Of course, this man must resign, you know, to enforce, to press, to you know, subject a woman to an unwanted kiss of that kind is unforgivable, it's unconscionable, it must never happen, abuse of power, abuse in general, assault, terrible. And then the other half saying, it's a kiss. It was only a kiss. It wasn't a, you know, deep-throated tongue kiss. It was a kiss in the heat of the moment. This was a man in an ebullient mood, you know, a man ecstatic with the most tremendous news, kissing as a kind of spontaneous reaction without thinking it through. So you've got, this is appalling, this can never, ever be acceptable, and this is no big deal. What is all the fuss about? What's going on in Spain? Is it similar there, or they're more to one side, more to the other?
Well, that's what's so fascinating about this, because I think you're right that on a more global scale, it is a bit more 50-50. At least that's kind of how I interpret things based on what I've seen. But in Spain, absolutely not. It's very one-sided as it relates to Jenni Hermoso in particular. Almost everyone unanimously across the board has been supporting her, has been backing her. Anyone across society, Spanish football, the industry, the government as well, they've been very vocal in saying, wait a minute, this is actually totally not okay. And I think one of the reasons is that people in Spain understand that there's a much wider context here. There's much more of a background as it relates to Luis Rubiales. There's a long-running history as well in terms of very serious allegations and very serious accusations over the years by men and women of things as they relate to, according to his uncle, for example, Juan Rubiales, things such as criminal activity or sexist abuse or misogyny. And so because this has been very commonly known amongst the wider public in Spain for years now, I think that's why people reacted in such a strong way against him. And they said, wait a minute, we don't buy this. Oh, it's just euphoria, heat of the moment. This is actually a symbol of a much wider problem of the systemic abuse that has been going on for
Semra,
years
I'm going to
behind the
stop
scenes
you
within
there.
the
I thank you
Federation.
so much. Thank you. We've come to the end of the show.